Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Where are we?
410 Swamini or 49. Depending if Swamini wants to do more on 49.
That last line you can look at. Yeah, so the creation is being talked about, and if the creation is real, then we are doomed. If it is unreal, then also we are doomed. So therefore, the Maya has to come in, And other than Adi Shankara in the Vedantic tradition, and perhaps Vyasa before him, I don't know anyone else who has understood Maya as well as he, really. Because it's very confusing, I attended some indigenous gathering, somewhere, I forgot now. And there was a group of people practicing a particular tradition from southern portion of Africa. And then they have some figure in their tradition, which is a trickster figure, kind of like Maya. It's kind of a cross between that figure, if we have to understand it. It's like a cross between Ganesha and Maya. Puts the blocks, removes, and they pray to this figure right at the beginning to remove the blocks. But it's much more than just Ganesha. Ganesha is a simple fellow for us, No hanky-panky, no problems, just a simple fellow. But this trickster figure is kind of like Maya, Makes you do this and that and all kinds of things. And then that day, there were some elders present in the gathering, and so they told their students to talk about some things about this trickster figure, and each one got befuddled in the process of talking about it. Kind of like all the acharyas, who are writing about Maya, coming under her spell, which shows how all-pervasive this power is, and which shows why we need to understand this very well before we proceed, and why this is not a creation of Adi Shankara. Maya is not a creation of anyone, Adi Shankara or anyone, even though it's wrongly attributed. People say that Adi Shankara is a Mayavadi, only talks about Maya. No Vedantin talks only about Maya. The Vedantin's focus is Satyam, not Maya. But in the process of getting to Satyam, you have to address what's in the way, and that's what it is. And so here, the last two lines, we shall look at it from 4.9 and then proceed to 4.10, few things. Asman Mayi, this Mayi word is very important, and I will talk about it more in the next mantra. I already talked about it. Mayi, the one who wields the Maya. Srijate Vishwametat tasminscha anyaha mayaya sanniruddhaha. I was talking about how the artist, who has creative power, you cannot put the artist on a schedule. You cannot tell the artist that please create whatever you are creating between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Nothing will come out, right? And in fact, in the last conference I went to, we had an artist with us, a Sufi musician. And everybody would be ready in the morning to go. The buses were there and we had to go to a certain place and he would not be there. He would not be there. He was incapable of getting up in the morning. Why? Because he woke up at 3 o'clock to compose something. This is the whole thing. So that's how it is, in the sense that, and then they, and sometimes the artists get overwhelmed by their compositions. They cry, they weep, they jump up and down, cut off their ears. We know someone who cut off their ears, right? Yeah. Van Gogh. Yeah. And so like this, although that might have something to do with the lead in the paint in those days, but never mind. This is just, there is a certain eccentricity. And in the human being, that eccentricity, which is the other side of genius, is inhibited. Sanniruddha. It's inhibited in two ways. One is, whatever one is creating within the framework of the larger laws of Bhagavan. Like even your dream. Your dream is a very creative process. So you think you're fast asleep, and from the sleep you get into ardha vikasaha, a kind of a half-awake state where your own knowledge, your own memories and your own desires create something, an alternative reality to Ishvara. In the dream, everybody is like a baby Ishvara, baby underlined. Because you don't know when you are going to dream. Do you know that you're going to dream at 3:02 a.m.? No. Do you know how long the dream is going to last? No. Do you know what you're going to dream about? No. And after that ends, what's going to be the next dream? No. And if you're having a very pleasant dream, can you extend it? Not at all. Can you complete it according to how you want it to be? Let's say you have a recurring dream of winning the lottery and you say yee-ha, and then it goes in the air, the ticket, and then the wind carries it somewhere, and in the dream you are chasing but you never catch it. Story of your life, story in the dream also. Missed opportunities, neglect, fear, scarcity, and always chasing after a dream. In the dream also you are chasing after a dream. Can you alter this dream? You can't. I'm sick of this recurring thing. Tonight I'm going to dream. As you're getting into your bed, you're saying this. As you're getting under the covers, you're making a sankalpa. Tonight I'm going to catch that lottery ticket. Catch and cash, both. I'm going to catch that lottery ticket. I'm going to catch that lottery ticket. And then I'm going to dream of just being surrounded by greenery. Yeah. I'm going to be surrounded by all these notes, these bills, that I can just swim in it, hand it out to people. And, I need to construct something to hold all this money. This is what, I'm going to alter the dream. It's not possible. Why? Sanniruddha, inhibited in the tracks. Correct? So there are two problems. One is that one's creativity, whether it's in the dream or whether one is a musician or whatever, is still functioning under the larger laws of Maya, really. So whatever creativity you have is under the larger laws of Ishvara. So it is sanniruddha. You can't alter it. So that's one way it is sanniruddha. Second way it could be sanniruddha, the individual creativity, is because there is no balance. And you can see this in kind of artists' lives. I mean, an artist, I'm not talking of someone who just dabbles in some watercolor once in a while, makes one lotus, big deal. I'm not talking of that kind of a thing. I'm talking of serious artists, that the kind that don't go to bed and then suddenly they are overcome by the muse, and suddenly they keep composing, and then they sleep for 7 days straight, And then, then some of them become very emotional. They just weep, and out of that pain, the poetry comes. In fact, poetry comes out of pain, much of it. And so, sometimes they go crazy, not in a bad way, but it's just like overwhelmed by the creativity. Correct? Overwhelmed. That's a very good word. So Ishvara is also blessed by creativity, yes or no? Yes, definitely. Otherwise, who can make this? Try making this. Even if you have those crepe paper or silk cloth, you can't make this. It will be a very sad imitation. But there is a difference between that, eccentric artist, a quintessential ideal type eccentric artist, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan also paints sunsets and etc. Bhagavan also paints, glaciers, color on the glaciers, color on the falling leaves, color in the sky, color in the water, and all these wonderful optical illusions. Bhagavan also paints. Bhagavan is also artistic, but with a major difference. Bhagavan doesn't go cuckoo or doesn't come under the spell of her own artistry. That's the difference. That is why the word mayi, mayin is used. Whereas the individual is overwhelmed by this. And even the spiritual artists, such as, people who just are, who get overwhelmed by devotion. And sometimes people get overwhelmed by meditation also. I was in a place where I was asked to lead a meditation. Again, one more interfaith gathering. And I got a little scared because one of the participants started to shake up and down like that, very, very hard. And I thought she's going to fall off her chair, and she was just shaking. So I had to, I just told people to continue, and went and stopped her, touched her on the shoulder. I said, "Are you okay?" She got very angry. She said, "Because I have been studying meditation like this." I said, "But you look to be in obvious discomfort. Meditation is for comfort." Is to feel more comfortable, more calm, not so agitated. And she argued with me. I had to go out of the room because I didn't want to disturb the others. And she argued with me that her teacher, whoever it was, I don't remember, said that you have to just let go and become, and all the forces, whatever forces take you, and then you just have to be overtaken by the meditation. Really? Why? I asked her why. She didn't have an answer. Then we just came back and she continued to shake and fall off the chair, and I continued the meditation. It takes all kinds to make the world. What can you do? But the idea is here. Here also one is overtaken, And then same thing, sometimes you will see these so-called spiritual masters, they start, weeping. Nothing wrong in weeping, but it's just, it's so overcome by, Kundalini, Kundalini, as they say, linguini, and like that. All these things, I don't know what. And then there is no sense of, like commanding those forces. And in fact, it is seen as a wrong thing to command those forces, because those forces are enshrined and thought of as something that will take them away literally from this miserable existence. And when that force comes, they are, eagerly waiting to be taken away. And when that force goes, they miss it. This is not freedom. This is not freedom. So it's not just in, eccentric artists, but also in eccentric spiritual traditions. This seems to be there. But this is not also Vedanta. Here in Vedanta, the focus is not to understand Maya. The focus is Brahman. We don't say Sarvam Khalvidam Maya. No. No. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Very good. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. We don't say Satyam Jnanam Anantam Maya. Maya is not Satyam. It's a force, and it's a creative force, which is all knowledge, which is from the standpoint of the Upadhi, has a certain effect. And that effect is just an as though effect. And because there is an as though effect, we have to bring about an as though cause to account for the as though effect. That's all it is. So therefore the word Mayi, it's very grammatically, it's very interesting. I explained the grammar last time, so I'm not going to go through it, but I'm going to focus on a slightly different aspect. Mayi, is I told you it is ini. So this ini has got a very interesting thing. Tad asya asti iti. Tad asya asti ini. So tad means that. Asya, for this person, that, whatever that quality, asti exists. So that exists for this person, and that is always replaceable. So, supposing I have a pair of glasses, right? And then I wear them. Glasses, what is the word for glasses? Upanetram. And so what does that make me now? Upanetri, right? If I were a man, I would be Upanetri, otherwise I would be Upanetrini, correct? So Upanetri, let us just take the, the masculine form for now, because it's simpler. Upanetri, right? Now, I am now what? Upanetri. And supposing, so then I walk into, and everybody knows I am Upanetri because I am wearing glasses. Supposing I go to a gathering where I am not wearing the glasses, do I cease to exist? You see how brilliant this grammar is. Yeah, it's very beautiful. And another very important thing, another what's that? Metaphor, or not metaphor, another example we can take, important example, like the people who are holding chhatris are coming. This is a Adi Shankara's example. Chhatrinaha yanti. Kerala, it rains every day. And so everyone is a chatrin. Same thing, mayin, chatrin, chatrinaha, plural. So chatrinaha yanti, people with umbrellas go. And let's say one fellow goes, he's going to a library, right? He was a chatrin when he went to the library. And then he left the chhatri in the library. Chhatri means umbrella. Left the umbrella in the library and then went away. And then what happened? Now is he chhatri or no chhatri? But the word Chatrin does not define him. It only defines what he wields. Same thing, Danda. Danda means stick. Dandin. So if you take away the Danda, the Dandi, it does not cancel out the Dandi. So this Tadasya Asti iti, such a person is endowed with this. That's exactly what it means. So that endowment, the sense of endowment we have to understand in the word Mayi, the one who is endowed with Maya. Who is that? Huh? Ishvara. Brahman, Ishvara. So then if you take away the danda, if you take away the stick, if you take away with the walking stick, is the vriddha, the elderly person, existent or not? Yes. If you take away let's say the baby is pacifier in, correct? So you pluck out the pacifier from its mouth, does the baby exist or not? Yes, it does. Now, if you take away Maya, what? ... You have to finish. This is like the GRE question. Yeah.
Brahman still exists.
Yeah. The Maya is an adornment, because of whom Brahman gains the status of Ishvara. Just like the crown is an adornment, wearing which heavy thing, this fellow, who's a very ordinary fellow, ordinary, indulgent fellow, gets the status of what? King. That's exactly how it is. You remove the crown, no king. No kingliness, nothing. This is all the insignia. And the Viveka Chudamani explains it beautifully when it says that, if you want to understand this, how Ishvara is a status given to Brahman, and as though status given to Brahman with the help of an as though power called Maya, gives a wonderful example. You have the king sitting on his throne, eating peeled grapes, fanned by all the people. And then out there you have the sentry baking in the heat, wearing a uniform. King is also in the uniform, cape, scepter, crown, and some stick and all these things they are holding. You switch the uniform or you steal away the uniform, right? Switching is better. You switch the uniform, and now the king, who is in the sentry's dress, sentry means Dwarapalaka, the one who guards the door. The king is in the sentry's dress and runs into the palace and says, I am the king, I am the king. Other sentries come and catch him and throw him clap him in jail. That's what will happen. No, but don't you recognize me? Nobody really looks at the king. They only look at the dress. And the sentry who is the king says, arrest that man. He is an imposter. Now the sentry is enjoying the peeled grapes. You see? You see how arbitrary this is? So two things we have to understand. One is that this, when you use the word Mayin, it means it's a disposable, kind of a grammatical effect of having something. And when you have something, that what you have does not define you. Very important. That's why the word the pratyaya, the suffix ini is used, because it doesn't define you. You simply have something. You could have so many things. You have clothes, they don't define you. You have a house, you don't say I is equal to house. Well, sometimes people do that, but that's not generally how it is. You have certain taste in certain colors, but that doesn't define you. So all that is here, that you have and that you may possess, does not define you. Similarly, the possessor of Maya is not defined by Maya. And so when Maya is dispensed with, so the possessor means if I am holding something, the flower holder, flower in, correct? Flower in, flower out. Yeah. So flower in means I am the wielder of the flower. When I wield something, then I no longer wield it. Right? So this is very important to know that dispensability. So the first thing that the Ini Pratyaya does is to show the dispensability of Maya, and that the Maya is an occasional ornament for Brahman to quote unquote gain the status of becoming Ishvara, and that status is dispensed with as soon as Maya is resolved or dropped. Right? Mm-hmm. So that is the first important function by this Ini Pratyaya. And then the other thing that this Ini Pratyaya does when you say Mayin is that it gives the sense of not being overwhelmed by what one has, by that particular thing which the Ini defines as you having. Unlike our creative friends that we gave examples of, where in the jiva's life there is always being overwhelmed, taken over by Maya or by the creative force, whatever it is. But in Ishvara, when we talk about Maya, Ishvara is neither fooled by Maya, nor comes under the spell of Maya, nor is overwhelmed by Maya, nor is overtaken by Maya. That is again Ini. Because I cannot be overtaken by my possession. And if that happens, there is something wrong. Really something wrong. That's why such people are called possessed. You cannot be possessed by your possessions. And if it's an anomaly, it's not something normal. So for Ishvara, Maya is an as though possession, something that is an adornment which does not have the ability to possess. So the wielder has these two meanings which are very important. So the word Mayi we have seen in detail. So Asman, what was that? Asman Mayi Srijate. So this Mayi, the wielder of Maya, very important portion of this. The wielder of Maya, Srijate, creates or rather projects, manifests. And what is created? All this. Bhutam cha bhavyam, we have seen the Vedas, Yajnas, Tapas, Chandas, everything is created. And so all this is called Vishvam, Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam. Vishvam, definition of Vishvam, Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam, that which is ascertained as existent through manifold what? Cognitions. Because one cognition is not enough. One cognition recognizes pot, another cognition recognizes thought, one cognition for cat, called cat cognition, and then what? Mat cognition, hat cognition, rat cognition. So many cognition, vividha, and various kinds of cognitions. So this whole world is nothing but the single cognizer in the form of I, Atma, cognizing various things. That is what is called Vishvam, one meaning. And then Vishvam also has a specific meaning of the waker, correct? And the waker does not exist in the vacuum. The waker always comes forth enjoying the waking world or getting beaten up by the waking world, in either case there is something to relate to, and that relational thing is given here, that projection, meaning the Vishwam along with the ones, the objects are there in relation to the subject. That is also hinted upon. Asman Mahi Srijate Vishwametat. And then, what's the last line? Tasminscha Anyaha Mayaya Sanniruddhaha. So one creates uninhibitedly, in a balanced way, without being overwhelmed by the forces of creativity. Forces because, Maya is sometimes pluralized. Yeah. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Indro Maya Bhihi Pururupam Eti. Maya Bhihi. With Mayas. And Indra means Ishvara, along with many Mayas, many forms of Maya, more than two here. Pururupam means gains manifest forms and names. Eti, gains. So here, these forces, and we'll see why later, these forces, these forces do not overwhelm Ishvara because he is Mayi. These forces don't overwhelm Ishvara. In fact, Ishvara is the most underwhelmed entity. Nothing surprises. It's like a magician. Takes the bunny out of the hat. You are surprised. Oh, you clap. But the magician knew it was already there, correct? Yeah, saws the lady in half, nonchalantly. This is very Indian, in India, this is a favorite number of all magic shows. Actually, there are two people in that same box. The feet belong to one lady and the head belongs to another. And they're all scrunched up like this. And in between the box is sawed in half. It's already two boxes. It's just put together, that's all. And first he sharpens the blade and then he saws the thing in half. And then everybody goes, oh no, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's a bloodless sawing, thankfully, because children are present in the audience. And then he puts it together. And then, of course, when he puts it together, it's a cue for those two ladies to quickly coordinate and open that, what's that, that in between the thing. And then one of them comes out. They have to also decide which one, otherwise both of them come out. And one of them withdraws her feet in. One in the head comes out and the other one withdraws the feet and the arms, whatever belonging to the other one, are withdrawn. Just like Ishvara's projection. And one comes out, tada, I'm here, you are surprised. Oh, she was just cut up in half, she was screaming a minute ago and now she's all whole. The magician is not surprised, the magician looks slightly bored. That is Mayi here. Because if Ishvara were starting to get completely overwhelmed by his own creation, where would we all go? Neither does Ishvara just sort of pat himself on the back and say, wow, kya baat hai, what have I done? I'm a genius. Can anybody do this? No. Me. It's all about me. That means one is under the spell of Maya, Sanniruddha. Yeah. At the most, Ishvara after creation, we here said, Om, yeah, underwhelmed. Atha, that's all he said. He didn't jump up and down and said, oh, look at what I've done. Who will look? What is the who? None other than him. Yeah. No, but what about Jiva? Jiva is also in Ishvara. Jiva is not a creation. Jiva is who? Anyaha. Anyaha means the other one. Other means what? Non-belonging one. Oh, who was sent away as non-belonging? It's like the person who locked themselves up and then said, "Help, let me out." First they cried, "Let me in, I want to be part of everything." And then what? "Let me out." So, this mad jiva, anyaha, othered itself. This is a setup. People do this all the time. You're traveling in a group and one person stands in a corner. Yeah, this is all new stories from my travels. One person goes routinely and stands in a corner. And then everybody is getting into the bus. We are going from city to city giving talks, and this person is standing in the corner. Then, they have to be brought in, they have to be called. Sometimes you don't remember, Fortunately, there were enough people and you remember and you called. Sometimes you don't remember somebody, and the bus goes. And then they feel all bad. Of course, the bus did come back. Such a waste of time. Each and every time you go and stand in the corner and expect to be invited. It's not the problem of the people. It's one's own problem of feeling like I don't belong. And I'm going to rehearse it every single day and hope that somebody will call me. And you think it's so simple that you call them a few times and then they'll feel invited. No. Even on the bus they'll continue to feel not invited. Like somebody, opened a packet of some dry fruits and is sharing, No, I don't think I'll have. Oh, okay, it doesn't matter, other people can have. And then, the person is looking so longing at it, salivating over it. And then saying, no, I really don't think And then after 4 or 5 times, all right, if you really want me to have, I'll have just a little bit. And before you know it, that person has, downed the entire packet and left you little, remnants. This is the jiva's problem, Stands in the corner waiting to be noticed. Why do you want to be noticed? Because I don't feel I'm worthy. And then it is rehearsing that unworthiness. It's like what I have told you, many times. In classes, people sit behind a tall person, hoping that they will be noticed. So this is what is called sanniruddha, where the creative force and the creativity and the spontaneity are blocked. So one is all grand Ishvara, underwhelmed by everything. The consummate magician. And the other one is who? Overwhelmed by this magic, trapped in this magic. So to speak, refusing to see the truth of oneself as non-separate, as not really belonging in this magic. And refusing to understand that the truth of oneself is as glorious as what is described as Ishvara. In fact, it is the same glory. And instead taking the avarna of, instead coming under the spell of avarna. I talked about the 2 forces of Maya last time. Avarna and Vikshepa. Nobody comes under the force of Vikshepa. Really. Vikshepa means what? There are many things. Okay, so many things are there, let's enjoy them. No, I can't. Why? Because of avarna. Avarna makes you believe the spoof, makes you believe the magic. And so, really speaking, you cannot enjoy it because you are under its spell. Sanniruddha, stopped in the tracks. inhibited by this magic. So now we have two entities, as though, like even the two birds which we just finished discussing, there aren't two birds and neither are there two entities. There's only one entity. And the other one is what? A shadow. And the shadow thinks itself to be separate. And the shadow goes rogue, sits and cries. Shadow sits and cries, shadow gets up and tries to liberate itself from the light that is casting it. And then it feels all dark and upset. And this is avarana. Nobody is bothered by vikshepa. Vikshepa is, becomes a problem. The many things in life become a problem because I don't know that it's all is one. That avarana is the problem. So, this is what has to be resolved. How? Next mantra, hopefully, will tell us. So, tasminscha anyaha. So, the one who says I am separate is bound, mayaya, is inhibited by the very maya. One is the creator and the other one is what? One is the spider that has made the web, and the jiva is the insect that has walked into the web. What web? World Wide Web. Yeah, because it's as big as the universe, right? And so, now how to get out of this is given because it's talked about how to, what's talked about is how to understand this further, okay? Mayam tu prakritim vidyat.
Mayam tu prakritim vidyat.
Mayinam cha maheshwaram.
Mayinam cha maheshwaram.
Tasyayava bhutaistu.
Tasyayava bhutaistu.
Vyaptam sarvamidam jagat.
Vyaptam sarvamidam jagat.
Yeah. So, vidyat, this is actually a teaching here. Vidyat is the verb here. May you know. May you know what? May we know. May one know. What may one know? May one know many things, but this is very important. Mayam tu. Tu here is for emphasis. Tu means indeed. Usually it means whereas. You can take it as whereas, but you should also take it as an emphasis. In fact, in this book, the tu is not even explained. Yeah. Maya. What is this Maya, if you ask? Because if Maya is the problem and the Maya is stopping me in my tracks, it's trapping me, it's making me have this sense of alienation from the whole, from the source, and it's stopping me from seeing my own glory, then Maya has to be understood. What is this Maya? Very simple and beautiful definition. Straightforward. Not simple, straightforward. Mayam tu prakritim vidyat. May one know Maya as Prakriti. Prakarshena kritihi, prakritihi. Prakarshena kriti yogyatvat prakritihi. The one who is. Kriti means doing, creation. Pra means a magical creation. Because you can't understand where this came from. If you say flower came from tree came from seed. Seed came from
Tree.
another tree. And another tree came from another seed. And another seed came from yet another tree. And then we'll be here, happily ever after, keeping on in this nice giant wheel, Ferris wheel of infinite regression. This is what it is. This is where it leads. It's very annoying, but that's how it is. Seed, tree, chicken egg, chicken egg, chicken egg. Either you go off into an infinite regress, or you can't categorically say something exists or doesn't exist. Like even, but it is so big it must exist. How do you know it exists, this pot? Because I can objectify it. Right? How are you objectifying it? Well, I can touch it. I'm touching it, right? So touch is a pramana, a sense of touch. It's a indriya. Jnanendriya means it's a organ of knowledge. Touch. So many things you can find out from touch, especially in the night when the lights are out. You can feel for so many things. Oh, there is the water glass. No, that's not the water glass. It's something else. Okay, what's next to that? Even sense of touch is very important. So I'm touching the pot, see, and I'm objectifying it. Are you objectifying it? What is it that you're touching?
Okay.
Exactly. I can't touch the pot. I'm not touching pot, I'm touching the cool clay. The cool, porous and slightly rough clay which makes a kind of a noise when I touch it. No, but you're seeing the pot. Are you seeing the pot? You're seeing the clay. You're not smelling the pot. That fragrance belongs to the earth, which is clay. You're not hearing the pot. That sound belongs to space, which is in the pot. Don't say it belongs to clay, that will look really awkward. Yeah. And I don't think we need to go as far as taste, okay? Yeah. And thank you for not asking me to demonstrate tasting the pot. I can think of biting off a piece of it. But whatever I taste is clay. So really, I'm not objectifying this. This is non-objectifiable. Oh, but I was told in Vedanta class that I am the only one that is non-objectifiable. I am the only one. Which is the subject, which is never an object. I was told in Vedanta class, I have been listening, I wrote notes also. And now I have a competitor who, this bada pot, not objectifying, just now see, I can't infer it is there. We can go through the whole thing. You can't infer it is there. And then what? Double inference, arthapatti. Clay is, therefore pot must exist. No such rule. Correct? And then what? How quickly time goes when you're having fun. Anyway, so I want to finish this way, And then you cannot say that you can infer. And you cannot say pot is like another pot, because that other pot is also non-objectifiable. What do I know? I don't even know one pot. So how can I know the other pot? And then what? Upama, anupalabdhi. Yeah, and I cannot say pot is non-existent. Why? Because it's sitting here, it's quite heavy too. And it is in the palm of my hand. It's sitting here. This is Maya. I'm experiencing a non-objectifiable, non-thing, which is really a casting a pall on my life. That's why life is appalling. Yeah. That's what the whole thing is about. It's magic. This is Maya, you see. So, this whole, part, you cannot say it doesn't exist. Can you say the pot doesn't exist? No, because here it is there. I see it. No, you see the clay. Shut up. I see the pot. You may see the clay, but I'm seeing the pot right now. Why? Because I have invested the eyes. The eyes are focused on the name and form, not on the substance. So therefore, it's an optical illusion to see the pot, but therefore I still see the pot. Like sometimes they have, these little quizzes in magazines, optical illusion. Do you see the man with a beard? Or do you see do you see a billy goat? What do you see? Both have beard. So which is it? Sometimes they make it, and it's so clever. So this is again a clever optical illusion which cannot be dismissed as non-existent and cannot be affirmed as existent by objectifying it. And do you see how it mimics the self by pretending to be non-objectifiable? I can't objectify the pot, but I can objectify that upon which it depends. What is that? Clay. This is the difference. You can't say the same thing about the self. I can't objectify the self, but I can objectify that upon which it depends. Because that upon which it depends doesn't exist. All that is there is the self alone. So, this pot cannot be objectified as a pot. I cannot say it exists. And neither can this pot be dismissed as a pot. Very interesting. This is Prakriti. Magical. The whole thing is like that. You take flower. So the two things you saw. You saw the two problems that one runs into. One is that infinite regress problem. Seed tree, seed tree, seed tree. Cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. Which came first? Must be the cause. But then that cause must have had an effect. Chicken, egg, seed tree. One is the problem of infinite regress. And what is the other problem? Can neither be affirmed nor be denied. Anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means cannot be categorically affirmed, cannot be categorically said to be dismissed. This is what is called Prakriti, as opposed to just Kriti. That which masquerades as the infinite because it relies on the infinite, that's the magic. That's the beauty of it. So, Prakritim Vidyat. Mayam tu Prakritim Vidyat. So, there are many synonyms for Maya. We'll just take a look at that. I'll go over for 2-3 minutes. One is Prakriti, Maya. Maya, of course, we know. We have been talking about it. Yama, sa Maya. Ma means what?
In this case,
Knowledge. Don't say Ma means mummy. Yeah. Yama, she who is all knowledge, is called Maya. Very interesting. So we've seen that. Then we have seen just now Prakriti, which cannot be defined, which cannot be denied, which is neither existent nor non-existent, which is neither the cause nor the effect, but masquerades both as the cause and the effect. and then what? And then we have another word, avyakta, unmanifest, because she is the power that is waiting to be unleashed. Becomes vyakta, and then what? Avyakta. Then vyakta, then what? Avyakta. So avyakta. Then another one, avidya, little rarely used. But I think we shouldn't use avidya as Maya because it's confusing. And it appears to contradict the first definition, Yama, Sa Maya, right? Because if avidya and Maya are one and the same, then how come Maya is all knowledge? Or is she all ignorance? She's only ignorance for you. Yeah, she's not ignorance for Ishvara. For Ishvara, she's all knowledge. That's why the word avidya applies only to the individual on the level of avarna. You cannot say vikshepa is avidya. Vikshepa means the projective power is not avidya. In fact, it's all vidya. So avidya is only a partial definition of Maya as it pertains to the primary effect or the primal effect of Maya in one's life, which is ignorance. So these are all synonyms. Mayam tu prakritim vidyat, mayinam tu, whereas, the next tu is whereas, mayin, the one who is the wielder of this wonderful magic, the magician, the alchemist is called Maheshwara. Mahancha asau Ishvarascha. The one who is Mahan means grand, great, biggest, best, and also the sustainer of everything. Very nice. And tasya avayava bhutaistu vyaptam sarvamidam jagat. This whole jagat is what? Is pervaded, vyaptam. Tasya avayava bhutaistu. Avayava bhuta means a group of limbs. So in other words, the whole universe is an extension of Ishvara. How? We will see next week. Next week? Week after that. Yeah, so today is the 31st of May, and then the next one would be the 7th, 14th of June, I would like to say, is the next Tuesday.
Oh, no, 5th. Oh,
Yes.
sorry, I'm in the wrong month. Yes.
14th of June at 6 o'clock. This class will meet again. Until then, don't come under the spell of Maya.
And there is class tomorrow.
There is class tomorrow. Yeah. There is not this class, but Kathopanishad at 6 o'clock, which we will enjoy. I don't even know where we are at that. It's not met in some time, but we'll find out. And meanwhile, enjoy Maya without coming under the spell. That is my prayer. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Nice. Any questions? Because that we packed in a lot.
Why can't pot be objectified?
Pot is objectified as clay because pot is a non-entity that relies on a substantive which is clay. So it's a manifestation of clay. So therefore I objectify the clay. But then I'm in this problem of infinite regress again because the clay itself relies on molecules, particles, etc. That's the whole problem. So pot cannot be objectified as a pot, because when I hold it, I'm actually holding its that upon which it relies.
Because pot is just a thought.
Pot is not a thought. Pot is a dependent reality. And I can enjoy the dependent reality. If I know the absolute, then the pot is not a problem. But if I'm in the pot world, then this pot becomes a problem for this pot. We take the same jati. Okay, so, so imagine, this one is also in the pot world, and this one is frightened because whenever this one comes, this one runs away. Why? Because gone. That's why. So, when from the standpoint of the one who is witnessing this and not being affected by this, then I can neither objectify this pot nor this pot. They are both clay. They are just both articulation, an incidental articulation of clay. From the standpoint of clay, they are incidental articulations. From the standpoint of pot, the clay is intrinsic to pot. Pot is not intrinsic to clay. That's how we have to understand that.
Then that way the body can be objectified as an expression of Ishvara.
Yes, that's right. So when you objectify the body, you're not objectifying the body at all. That's how Maya is. You're objectifying the 5 elements. And where do the 5 elements come from? Again Ishvara. And again that coming and going is as though, and what comes is also as though. That's how we can say Sarvam idam jagat Ishvarena Maheshvarena Vyaptam. That's what the whole thing is. Very wonderful.
Sundaraj says in the last Hari Om.
Oh, very nice. Any other questions?
Prakriti here is used as mithya in this verse.
Yeah, Prakriti, if you encounter anywhere, the word is mithya. Absolutely. Okay? Prakarshena kriti, magic.
She is mithya for the people.
No, she's mithya for everyone.
For creation.
Yeah, creation itself is mithya. Mithya doesn't mean false or non-existent. Mithya means that which cannot be categorically affirmed or denied. And mithya means that which clings on to something else for reality, like the pot clings to clay for its reality. Those are the 2 definitions of mithya. And this mithya is not understood really. You keep talking about it, and hopefully one day it sinks in. Otherwise, when one is asked to talk about it, one is like that group of students from Africa. They were all looking at their teachers, and the teacher said, "Come on, you've heard of so many times. We have guests. Come on, tell what you know." Well, because they were talking about a trickster figure, they could not even articulate.
So then if Avarna is there,
Avarna is
it
there.
will not go.
No, yo. Appadi sollade. No. Avarna has to go. Vikshepa pogadu. Vikshepa will not go. If Avarna doesn't, it's going. Yeah. It's going. Otherwise you won't be keeping on coming. Yeah. Because you are coming, it is going. So Avarna has to go. Avarna has to go, because if Vikshepa will not go. And Vikshepa need not go, because if you say Vikshepa, I have to get rid of Vikshepa, then there will be no difference between you and ISIS. ISIS is trying to get rid of Vikshepa. First they destroyed this, all this. There was one Sufi scholar, poets. What is that? Statue. What was it doing? Nothing. It was just in the square. destroyed that. Then that lovely, beautiful carvings and this whole city of Palmyra, destroyed. They want to go to the formless by destroying all the forms. Strange. So if one is against Vikshepa, then that means, there is no difference between Isis and that person. Avarna is the problem, because of which Vikshepa becomes a problem. Avarna gone, Vikshepa is very enjoyable, because I know the truth of Vikshepa as nothing but Ishvara and the various manifestations of Ishvara. The Avarna has to go.
What is the analogy for the 5 elements? I think you just said it, but are we rationalizing for the elements? Not sure this question is constructed well.
I'm not sure I'm following the question. What is the analogy
for the 5 elements?
What does that mean? Analogy for the 5 elements means what?
Let's see if it says it more.
Analogy, what is the analogy means? Yeah, 5 elements have come from Atma, have come from the self. They are relying on that, and they have a special status. And what is that special status? As being the first ones. Yeah, not counting Hiranyagarbha. Yes. So they are the first ones, right? Yeah. So therefore,
nothing else has come, so must have preferred.
Okay. See you all tomorrow. Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, some things have come. We should enjoy them.